Hey guys, Charles from Halt's Boots here. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 pairs of boots of all time. So right off the bat, I just want to let you guys know this is my top 5 pairs of all time. So they may differ from yours. It may be a model or a specific boot. It's kind of going to vary a little bit, but let's get on with the video. So real quick, I just wanted to do some honorable mentions, and the first honorable mention is going to be the Superfly 4. While arguably the Superfly 4 is one of the best boots of all time and a cult classic at this point, I just didn't wear it nearly as much. I kind of got into boots right around or right after that time, so I didn't really wear these a whole lot till afterwards. I do have this really cool camo pair from the camo pack. I also had a pair of the citrus orange, I think, that I just beat the crap out of. I actually got them for free from an old teammate, so they were already beaters as it was and just kind of kept wearing them. But it's still a solid boot, but just not a boot that I wore continuously throughout the years. So the other honorable mention before we get going here is just going to be the Adidas F50. I have tons of pairs of them in the collection. I've worn tons of pairs over the years. In college, I actually wore a pair a lot, but this is just too good of a model, and I just thought it wouldn't be fair to put it on there because you could just put any version of the F50 really, besides maybe the 2015 version, and they would just absolutely kill it. So number 5 on the list is going to be the Superfly 5, specifically the bright green version in the AG sole plate. This was a boot I absolutely loved to death. I wore them every chance I got. I got them as a freshman in college, and I wore them all the way up till just before junior year when I ripped them, and I just haven't been able to find another pair since. And it just was just a boot that to me was just iconic, and just its bright colorway. I had some pretty cool games, played some pretty cool games in them as well. So just that boot in general for me just holds a special place in my heart. I don't have a model in hand. I don't even actually have a Superfly 5 to show you guys, so I'll put a few pictures up, but that's gonna take the number 5 slot for me. That AG sole plate on the Superfly 5 was actually just perfect. I've never really come across a sole plate I enjoy more since then. It's on the Vapor 11 as well, and just that sole plate just felt like the right length, the right amount of conical studs. It didn't look ugly, which is a problem I had with the upcoming Vapors and Superflies, and the older ones just didn't look right. So that boot to me just really holds a special place in my heart. One of the reasons I really enjoyed that boot too is that AG sole plate. Like I said, specifically the AG, and the Superfly 5 AG and the Vapor 11 AG were just without a doubt my all-time favorite AG sole plate. I haven't found a sole plate since then that's AG that I really enjoy. So it just felt like the right length, the right amount of conical studs, and that's why for me it's a number 5 on the list. The number 4 spot is gonna go to the Magista Ober 1. In high school, I actually had a pair of Magista Ober 1s. I wore them senior year and just destroyed them from the fall throughout the spring season, and by the time summer came, they were just absolutely in pieces. You know, taped them up, whatever. In my hands here, I have the camo pack, which I got from a friend who decided he was done playing soccer and just gave them to me, and then I was able to cop the World Cup colorway, which I think is just one of the most iconic boots, and if not one of the most impressive pairs in my collection, just because it's brand new and whatnot. And then here you can see my Euro pack, or the Copa America 2016 pack for the Magista Obra. Just absolutely destroyed. I had an SG pair that luckily I was able to wear every game in high school. You can see here that, you know, the sole plate just absolutely ripped apart. You can see where I taped it up here, the Nike skin peeling, and really these boots just did me a lot of good. One thing I think this boot did really good by everybody else was it just had such a nice sole plate, really nice mixture of conical studs. Didn't even really need an AG pair if you didn't want. Had a really nice knit upper almost completely, topped with that Nike skin, allowed you to have good contact on the ball, was never really slippery or anything like that. Sometimes you had a reinforced toe here as well, so it was just a really nice boot. So number 3 on my list is the Adidas X Tango 18.1. Now this is an indoor boot, but this boot is just different gravy. My story with these is that I accidentally bought the laced version instead of the laceless 18 plus version a long time ago, and I was upset about that at first, but once these arrived and I tried them on, I just couldn't stop wearing these. I think so far I've gone through, I wanna say 6 pairs. I just started wearing another pair, and I think I have maybe 1 or 2 left. So just something was different about this boot. And it's just super comfortable. It has like a complete Ultra Boost insole almost, and just a little bit of reinforcement in there. This knit upper is just the perfect amount of contact on the ball. It's exactly how I like my boots. And I actually lace these kind of weird. If you remember how some of the older coaches in the Prem or around the world, when they take their Copa Mundials and actually lace them around their ankle or just above the ankle, that's actually what I do. I don't know why, but it's just something to do with this boot, man. There's no actual insole either. It's just part of the boot as well. And just every time you take a step, it's that Ultra Boost. just perfect contact on the ball. I haven't seen a pair of these in a year and a half now, so the chances of anybody getting these are pretty low. They're just so rare. They didn't really make a lot of these to begin with. So definitely a really good top 3 boot. Number 2 on the list, and another cult classic, is the Vapor 11. The Vapor 11 to me is just simply the best Vapor I've ever tried. While it is for narrower feet, I find that it does actually stretch for my wider feet. This upper here, I think is called like a Tenjin upper. I think it's a like Asian fabric or material or composite or something. And it just, every shot you hit, every pass you lace, just that connection, that feel, the plushness is just amazing. It's one of the lightest boots out there. It was one of the lightest boots on the market at the time. Just a really nice sole plate. I wore these a lot on turf, didn't have any issues. I've actually grinded down so many pairs to where this, like all this like clear plastic stuff is gone. If you guys know who Matt Sheldon is, Become Elite, we sourced him, I think 10 or 12 pairs of these now, and there's a reason why he keeps wearing these, and it's because they're the best boot of all time. On top of being the best, they just also had some sick colors. You had this like all black with the pink. I've had 3 pairs of these already. You had this purple citrus, the Motion Blur Pack, which I think is everybody's favorite colorway in the Superfly 5 and the Vapor 11. You just couldn't miss with these boots. You know, they had the TechCraft, they had the TechCraft 2.0, you know, on top of like 10 other colors, like the bright green, the oranges, just everything about them. They were just insane. And finally, we have my favorite boot of all time, the 11 Pro 3. This colorway specifically is my favorite boot of all time. I have, I think, 7 or 8 pairs of these now. And just in this color over here, I have my entire collection, which I'll just kind of give it another run through as well. But this boot was just different for me. The story behind these for me is in 2015, I ordered a pair from Pro Direct, had my name etched on there, you know, my number, whatever. They look super, super cool. I was obsessed with this boot. I cleaned it every time I wore them, and I think that led to their ultimate demise. In just a short week and a half that I had them, I had an entire sole separation here, had to return them, was really upset about it. I ended up actually picking up this colorway instead, the black and yellow, and then wore them to shreds. And because I just was so obsessed with this boot, since I started my Instagram page, is probably where some of you know me from, I've just started collecting them all. I'm only missing one colorway, which is the very rare Carnival colorway. And I just can never get enough of this boot. It's a boot I wear in games. I haven't worn one of these pairs yet just because they're so dear to me. I have tons of the orange and white colorway, the black and orange colorway, just all sorts of them that I just have constantly worn over the years and use as my game boot. And I just kind of appreciate that consistency. The K-leather upper is one thing that just sets these boots apart from everything. I haven't really been in a boot that quite feels like this. I know the Copa Gloro 16.1 is close, but it just isn't enough for me to actually want to make the switch or even just consider wearing them. The tongue is nice as well. It's got a little bit of padding, not a whole lot. It's perfect for wide feet. I usually go half a size down in these just because they stretch perfectly. Another cool thing about this boot, and one of my other favorite features, is this insole here. It's nothing special up top, just like a suede, you know, like you'd see a lot of the older boots, but then you just have this padding in the heel here, almost like the Copa 19.1 and 20.1 and maybe the Copa Sense, but it's just a different kind of padding. It's super plush in the heel. I've never had the pair of these rip on me in the past few years that I've been wearing them. I actually keep the insoles and wear them in my other boots, so my Montebluna Tiempos and other pairs also have these in there. Another misconception is that this is the Tony Cruz boot, and that's not true. While this is the Tony Cruz colorway, if you want to call it, all white with the blue and the black, he actually wears the 11 Pro 2, and he actually has a very tricked out pair, or pairs of 11 Pro 2s, which I might actually make a whole video on that. But instead of the actual 11 Pro 2, he has like an 11 Pro 2 upper, the Adipure 4 or 3 sole plate, and all sorts of crazy stuff. So this is actually just the 11 Pro 3, not the Tony Cruz model. However, still, in my opinion, the best boot of all time. So there you guys have it. Those are my top 5 pairs of all time. Let me know down below what your favorite top 5 are. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.